We want to make sure you get a little snippet of what Sarah Palin was rallying the Tea Parties up in Boston today. Take a listen. Anna Marie Cox coming up.
And the coming days, as we strive hard, especially coming into November, it may feel like we're running a grueling marathon, maybe like the big one that's coming up here in Boston next week. But we can do it. We get to run hard, and we can win. And America's best days are yet to come. So get your second wind. Get your second wind, America.
A lot of running metaphors from Sarah Palin up there in Boston today.
Well, it is good to see you both. She has a very distinctive style of speech.
Thank you for joining us, Anna Marie Cox of GQ. Let's start off right away with Sarah Palin. As you heard at the top of the show, her fundraising numbers. She's a superstar out there on the trail. Everybody's clamoring for her to be there, making a lot of money speaking, not making a lot of money for her PAC.
Right, let's read it. Let's define what we mean by superstar. We cover her.
Is that what we mean?
Yes, that is what we mean.
Well, she sold a lot of books.
She sold a lot of books, but again, I think there's a lot of curiosity factor there, and I think people are getting less and less curious about her, honestly. I mean, the only curiosity she's raising these days, and the only eyebrows she's raising these days, are about like her sort of, you know, now looks like a little bit of a diva, just a little. I mean, we actually share the same speakers bureau, and I can tell you I don't get a Learjet.
No?
No.
I would imagine your speaking fee is also...
Yeah, it's a little. I do get bendy straws.
Good.
Bendy straws.
Bendy straws.
Yeah. But I do think that for most people, that's going to seem like a really outrageous set of demands. I mean, at least she didn't ask for only green M&Ms or whatever, but I think that she's come a long way from Wasilla. And what the base of her repeal really was for a long time. I know you guys are both on the trail, and you probably talk to people at Palin rallies. She is like me. She is like me, and that was the really strongest, most resonant thing that she did. She's getting to be a not like me.
$12 million, I guess, can help
She
that
does
along
not
the
like
way.
me.
But let's talk about who she's talking to there. It's this Tea Party group. They're rallying. This is their big day tomorrow, tax day. They're going to come into Washington. And they are the representative of a lot of the populist anger out there. So while I'm curious to get your sense, this Republican pushback on financial regulatory reform, this idea that the bill does have this bailout, doesn't that resonate with this crowd that's coming to town tomorrow?
It does, although I think financial reform is a tricky thing for the Republicans to run on, and especially for the Tea Partiers to run on, because the Tea Parties, people who go to these Tea Parties, and let's say, I'm really cautious about calling it a movement, because polls are so weird about how many people actually consider themselves part of it.
13 to 17%.
Yeah, it's a significant portion, but also they're not. You can't count on them. This is what I was about to say. You can't count on them to vote a specific way. There's a strong populist streak. There's a strong anti-incumbent streak. There's a strong anti-bank streak. But I don't know if that translates directly into a vote for a Republican. I mean, they're trying to make it sound that way, but I actually thought Representative Van Hollen had a pretty good point. When you have your representatives going to Wall Street and asking for money, which Democrats do too, of course. It just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. It depends on who's going to win that message battle. And I think that trying to use their momentum out of healthcare, the White House and the Democrats are just trying to win that message battle right away.
And I want to shift gears a little bit. An interesting column today talking about President Obama at this nuclear summit and the fact that we barely saw him, except for that press conference and some brief remarks. 2 days, over half a dozen bilateral meetings. He snuck away this weekend, too, went to a soccer game, left the press behind. Is this just something that inside the Beltway we care about, or do the American people actually care that maybe he's not as open and transparent as he was claiming to be?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. I think that it's an inside the Beltway thing that we did not see him at the soccer game, you know, and that there are people doing conspiracy theories about whether or not there was a soccer game and stuff like that. Maybe he just went to go smoke.
Right.
But I think that the transparency thing is a problem, not so much at the nuclear summit, which I guarantee was probably boring to tears for most of the people there.
Right.
Because a lot of what happened was already planned to have happened. It's not like, you know, exciting things are being, you know, done at the table.
I have to pause you there. We're out of time. Anna Marie Cox of GQ Magazine, thank you very much. Click us on again tomorrow, folks.
Thanks for watching.